It is now my honor to introduce our mayor, Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed.
So what I said without notes, without preparation, speaking from my heart, to Channel 2's reporter Amy Napier-Viteri, as I walked into the WSB studio, is this, and this is a verbatim quote on what I said. I said that I am deeply sorry and regret terribly the pain and anguish that many people felt beginning Tuesday afternoon and well into Wednesday. I said my heart goes out to anyone who was stuck in a car for 12 to 13 hours. My heart goes out to the woman who gave birth on I-285. I said I feel the pain of a mother or a father who hasn't been able to feel the warm embrace of their son or daughter because their children were stuck at school on Tuesday night. So I don't know how that is not viewed as an apology or being unapologetic, but I certainly spoke from my heart, and I want to make it clear to every single person who was impacted by this storm that I care deeply about you, and I care deeply about what happened to you. And as tough as the last 2 days have been, I simply could not let it be said that we did not learn from the snowstorm of 2011. The fact of the matter is we learned a great deal. I made no excuses about being caught unaware. The fact of the matter is that the nature of the storm changed between 3:30 a.m. and 4:30 a.m. We then briefed our team and got our personnel on the roads, pre-treating the roads of the city of Atlanta by 9 a.m. on Tuesday. And within 24 to 30 hours, 80% of the roads in the Atlanta city limits were passable. The way that we approached our snow removal process involves first making sure that our hospitals stay open, then making sure that our bridges and underpasses stay open, then making sure that our fire stations and our police precincts are accessible. And that is one of the reasons that I believe that we can report today that there were no fatalities within the Atlanta city limits. So the notion that we were standing still is just patently not the case. And so the reason that I wanted to convey that is not for my purposes. I'll be okay. I'll get through the next 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And, I can take the heat. But I think our first responders were just really behaving in the most noble tradition of the first responders. Our firefighters, our correction officers, and our police department, I think really did work hard to get the city moving by Wednesday. With that said, I think that today is an appropriate forum to announce what we're going to do going forward, and then I'm also going to talk about the city, which is what I thought this speech was going to be about when I agreed to it so long ago. Number one, as of this morning, I have ordered a comprehensive review of our response to learn from what we did and from what we did not do, what worked and what did not work. Number two, I'm going to stand up a working group to identify and recommend best practices for emergency preparedness, including a protocol for dismissals during severe weather events. And that's an area where I certainly accept responsibility. I certainly have the stature and the force of personality to have ordered or to have strongly recommended that we needed to get our kids out of here, let their parents go get them, close our private sector businesses, and then move our government employees home. That was something that if I had it to do over, I certainly would do over. We're fortunate to have the Weather Channel headquartered right here in our region in Cobb County. And they have agreed to participate in this working group, and they have offered to help the city of Atlanta become a model for how to best create a weather-ready city. We welcome this assistance to help us collaborate between the city, state, and federal government and private businesses. And I am pleased and appreciate the kind offer from the Weather Channel. 4, we're going to recruit and hire an Atlanta emergency management executive to implement the recommendations and to be responsible for maintaining our readiness, not just for snow events, but for any kind of emergency event. Number 5, I'm going to request that the City Council appropriate funds to expand our pre-treating and de-icing capabilities. So in the budget that I have coming up, you will see a request to expand our spreading capabilities because the plows are not useful until you reach a certain amount of snow. So we had a balance between snow spreaders and snow plows that was not the right mix. So we're going to invest more in spreaders and de-icing capabilities so that we can move faster and farther in a better fashion. We're going full steam to take on our infrastructure challenges in the city of Atlanta. I've said repeatedly that we have about a $900 million infrastructure backlog at least, and we need to do a better job of maintaining it. And because we were on our back for the last 4 years, facing the worst economy that had been seen in 80 years, we have not invested in our roads, bridges, sidewalks, and green spaces. But we're getting ready to do that right away. We should invest between $150 million to $250 million to make Atlanta more beautiful. It's my intention to make the most significant above-the-ground investment that our city has seen in a very, very long time. And hopefully my successors will stay at dealing with this infrastructure challenge. As tough as the last week has been, today we had a terrific announcement that was not on the front page of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution because Governor Deal and I had all of that space. But unemployment in our region is down to 6.8%. And that's good news. Because that's the lowest unemployment number in more than 4 years, and it means that our city and our region is coming back. I am pleased to announce, I talked briefly with the Vice President on yesterday, it looks like our port, the deepening of the Port of Savannah, is moving in a positive direction through bipartisan work with Senator Isaacson, who I saw last evening, with Senator Chambliss, with the Vice President and the President of the United States, and Governor Deal. We've moved the deepening of the port faster in 3.5 years than it had moved in the previous 10. So if you were asking where we are, I think we have the deepening of the port on the 35 or 30-yard line. We're not in the red zone yet, but we are in the WRDA bill, which will allow the port to be fully funded, and the state has made the appropriate appropriations to begin deepening that port. I also want you to know, in case you all want to make a little news today, it's my intention to push the streetcar connection to the Atlanta Beltline. I want visitors and guests, 42 million in the year 2012, to be able to leave their hotel, get on a streetcar, get off on the Atlanta Beltline, because what you're going to see over the next 5, 10, 15 years is that the Atlanta Beltline is going to be a major attraction, just like the world of Coca-Cola is, and just like the Civil and Human Rights Museum is, and just like the Martin Luther King Center is. It's going to be a major part of our tourism dynamic in the city of Atlanta. And I say all of the times, I said it weeks ago, I said the Atlanta Beltline is more popular than I am. That used to be funny, now it's true. We'll get through these last few days, and we will show America and the United States that we will learn these lessons, that we will get stronger, and that we will assume our appropriate position as the dominant economy in the Southeast. One of the things that I was glad that they got up, about the only thing I was happy about the weather coverage, was that they kept saying that this is the 9th largest metropolitan area in America. I was like, man, I had to get snowed on to have that. And so I'm not going to rely on the fact that it'll be another 10 years before a terrible snow event. The deal has changed forever. And I believe that it is largely because of the results of climate change. So I think the weather patterns are going to change. I think we're going to see more snow, more severe weather events. I've gotten the message loud and clear, and I'm going to act like it and do something about it. God bless you, and thank you for letting me be your mayor.